It's March, which means March Madness, and today I will reveal to you my perfect NCAA bracket.
Welcome back to another episode of the HeyUSA podcast. My name is Nick Garcia, senior reporter at HeyUSA, and with me, as always, man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Brant James, the lead writer of HeyUSA. Brant, March is here. The brackets are out. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready. Like I said, I'm rooting for chaos this year. I predict there's going to be bunches of upsets. There's going to be lots of kids doing the surrender cobra. At the end of the whole thing, they'll play some cheesy song, and probably some school that I really don't like is going to win.
Before we get into the March Madness chaos, a few pods ago, we talked about QB chaos in the NFL. It turns out that is not the case this year.
The Seattle fan in the room would tell you that there's a little bit of chaos.
I would say that the trade for Russell, I mean, it's one thing for Russell Wilson to go to the Denver Broncos, which listeners out there, you know, those that don't monitor NFL stuff much like we do, franchise quarterback Russell Wilson was traded to the Denver Broncos, but it's not like he was traded to, say, the Dallas Cowboys or the New England Patriots. Denver's good, but are they going to win a Super Bowl this coming year? I highly doubt it.
No. I mean, it's a good team that got better. I think that those legal online retail sports books in Colorado are going to take in a whole bunch of money on futures bets on Russ and the Broncos. Yeah. As someone who's watched his career for the last 10 years, think he's a great player. I don't know if he's top 5 quarterback in the league anymore. Great attitude. You know, got the Seahawks over the hump once. Yes, Pete should have called a running play with Marshawn to go back-to-back, but Russell did throw an interception from the half-centimeter line. It was a divorce that you saw coming. It was sort of like the John Schneider, Pete Carroll regime, and Russell are trying to stay together for the kids a little bit. Didn't work out. The annoying thing for me as the fan was that they didn't get enough, but a couple days later – it came out, obviously Russell had a no-trade clause. He nixed a trade to the commies. I don't like saying Commanders. It's just too long a word. He nixed a trade to the commies, and he nixed a trade to the Eagles that both would have been more bountiful in first-round picks. Apparently, absolutely no one wants to go play for the Eagles, and it's kind of funny to watch. They have more blogs pound for pound in Philadelphia than anywhere. My Google feed was saturated. First, how they were going to get Russell, and then DK Metcalf, and just delusional people, because no one likes you because you're mean. He didn't want to go there. So because Philly people are mean, basically, my team didn't get more of a haul for Russell Wilson. Thanks again, Philly.
And I mentioned on the previous pod that my chaos pick was an Aaron Rodgers, Kyler Murray swap, which turned out to be ridiculous because Aaron Rodgers just staying put in Green Bay for the next 30, 35 years. So
30, 35 years. They could always trade him. He's under a deal. I don't know if they do that. Quite a cap hit, like $1 billion, but maybe they can work that out.
Rodgers stays put. Russell goes to Denver. Mitch Trubisky gets new life in Pittsburgh. There's Carson Wentz gets shipped to the commies. There's still a few more free agents out there that might be looking for new homes. Marcus Mariota, Jameis Winston still out there. Will there be another big, are the Cowboys going to ship Dak Prescott somewhere? Highly doubt it. I think everyone else is pretty locked in. But yeah, it wasn't the chaos that I was expecting.
I think the next big thing is going to be the Deshaun Watson trade. Everyone obviously knows the baggage that comes with that individual. The headline that the world needs to all nod knowingly together and smirk about how much team owners and fans care about sports and not really about the person off the field. The headline I need to see is Deshaun Watson becomes a saint. That's the headline I need to see.
I think that is I'll raise you one and I'll say Deshaun Watson becomes a Cleveland Brown. I would like to see him in that offense with, Nick Chubb and throwing up Amari Cooper now. I think they'd be pretty exciting. But again, that division, the AFC North is stacked right now. So I don't know if, much like the AFC West, I don't know if he'd be wanting to go there.
That's going to be a gunfight out there. Shouldn't fight with guns, but
that was the other thing that I was gonna say. who would want to go play in the AFC? Well, you got Mahomes, you got Justin Herbert, you got Derek Carr, and now you got Russell Wilson. It's going to be insane.
I actually thought that would be a trigger for Aaron Rodgers to go there, because if you have to have an ego to play at this level.
Yeah.
He obviously has done well in his career. He's got more money that he can stack on top of itself to the moon. Why not try to go out to the West and show those youngsters, Mr. Mahomes and such, that you could play out there? But now Russell gets to do it. We'll see. I haven't looked up my Pro Football Reference, but I generally remember Russell Wilson kind of being trash on real grass. There's a lot of real grass in the AFC West. Could be a factor.
Yeah, good. I guess the last thing for NFL wise is there's still a guy named Jimmy G out there who may find a home somewhere. Maybe he'll go to Indianapolis. Maybe the Panthers seem aggressive in their quarterback hunting. I think he's a big name to watch out there. I mean, relatively good arm. He could win you a couple games. He could be that filler, that transition guy. So I think he's the last name out there who's going to find a home soon.
Yep, just got to take into account that shoulder surgery,
and which seems to hinder so many people. The last thing that I want to point out before, I know everyone's waiting for us to talk about March Madness, the big thing, but baseball is back, and my Chicago White Sox are making moves. We got Joe Kelly from the Dodgers, who I feel looks perfect and fits perfect on the South Side. If he's going to pout at you, he's going to call you a baby, he's going to strike you out. He fills the need in our bullpen. I think it's a good move. If there is any chaos in sports, it's baseball that's coming out with so many trades. And I'd say that's the Matt Olson trade from Oakland to Atlanta basically does away with the Freddie Freeman era. And, I call that chaos.
It's going to be fun. It's good to have baseball back. As an Orioles fan, they're going to suck again this year, but at least they got some kids that are supposedly good. So see in a couple years, maybe.
Stockpiling those picks. So without further ado, Brant and I have decided to do a HeyUSA podcast March Madness tournament. It's quite the mouthful. Might shorten that down a little bit.
Yeah, I can't say that.
But we're going to go head to head, see who can fill out the best bracket. As the tournament progresses, as each episode comes out, we'll fill you in a little bit of details, who we picked. Brant, have you filled out your bracket yet?
I have. And my bracket, it's not only going to be victorious, it's going to be successful. It's going to humiliate you, because just backtracking for a second, our entertainment-driven focus here at Play USA, we came up with a list of things that are more likely than filling out a perfect NCAA bracket. It's not been done that anyone knows. Basically, the folks at NCAA.com contacted all of the eggheadedest eggheads and quants and statistician types on the planet. Probably these people should have been working on getting us to Mars, cancer,
flying cars,
energy, a lot of stuff besides this. Thanks NCAA.com for distracting them. Odds of a perfect bracket. So according to these scientists, if you actually try, your odds are 1 in 120 billion of getting it right. Like if you think you're a basketball fan and you're picking smartly, you're applying knowledge, it's that 1 in 120 billion. If you flip a coin, it is 1 in 9 quintillion, which is a large number that I didn't know existed. It's about, that looks like about 18 or 20 spaces long. It's a lot. So, circling back to humiliating Nick, he applied thoughts and brain power.
Did.
I flipped a coin for every single outcome in this NCAA tournament, and I'm going to win, and I'm probably going to be the first one to ever do it with a coin flip.
That is pretty impressive. Were all were your picks all heads? Like, you're picking the heads guy to move on, or what'd you do?
Tails had a good day, and Tails kind of screwed me in a couple of the 116 matchups. I'm going to be honest with you, but it could happen.
It could happen. We'll see.
It could happen.
We shouldn't divulge our Final Four just yet, but I would say, what is, you mentioned that you alma mater West Virginia didn't make the tourney. What is a game that you looking forward to seeing, like a matchup, or may not be in the first round, but what is one game that you're hoping to kind of see?
Well, my eye immediately goes to number 16 Norfolk State knocking off Baylor, which it will just rock the sports world until the winner of Texas whatever knocks off Kansas in the next round. So that one I'm going to enjoy a little bit, seeing Kansas go out. But yeah, it's going to be a big day for the underdogs.
I don't know.
I'm not to ruin it, but my tournament, it's got a pretty good year for the Ivy League, and I don't know why. They're good at coins, I guess.
I love seeing the Ivy League and them. Yale is fun to watch sometimes. I don't know if they can take down Purdue, but I do have them in a bracket where they do. I'd say one matchup that I'm looking. This one would happen in the round of 32, but if Alabama wins and Texas Tech wins, I think that would be a pretty good. Both those teams have fluctuated all the way at least to number one or at least a top five. But seeing the Red Raiders take on the Crimson Tide in the round of 32, I think be a pretty.
Yeah, that would be good. But I'm sorry, Montana State apparently is taking
it's going to take them out. As you know, I am rooting for Gonzaga, so every bracket I make will have the Zags hoisting the championship trophy. So that's not a spoiler. People know that I like Gonzaga. I think they're the best team in the league. We'll see how it goes. But we'll keep you posted on that, week to week.
Please stop by PlayUSA. Check the links below. We have tons of links for free-to-play games if you happen to be, such as myself, in a sports betting wasteland where you can't have the extra layer of fun. You don't go to an office anymore. There's no more office pools. You're not crinkling these things up and handing them to stew with your $20. Go there, check out our brackets. There's lots of good stuff. Check the descriptions. Anything you need for March Madness, you can find here.
Yeah.
Down there.
There is a good one. BetMGM is putting out a $10 million perfect bracket one, which is pretty good.
Ooh, can I win?
Is it highly? You could. I mean, I guess if you got to submit one, but
gonna do it.
$10 million perfect bracket on BetMGM. Best points gets $2,500. So I mean, that's a pretty good one. Pretty good, for the best bracket. We'll see how it goes.
25 more than I have now.
It is. But rounding out the show today, is there anything else that you kind of want to tell our listeners? Anything you're watching or excited for?
No, we're just working on some more Florida stuff, grinding on through, finding out if there's going to be any more legislative efforts about sports betting or iCasino for that matter. I wrote a story today. It's kind of interesting. The Seminole Tribe of Florida put out a 30-second spot called Thank You. In essence, a victory lap, thanking the residents of the state of Florida for not enough of them signing the petitions to get gambling expansion on the ballot this year. It's just sort of a little dunk on Las Vegas Sands, FanDuel, DraftKings, et al. A little amusing. So check the description. We'll link that for you too. But otherwise, I'm probably just gonna find my NyQuil and take a little rest before the tournament begins.
That's always good. The last thing for me is. Wrote a little story. We'll have that also in the description, but it was a good month of February in the Midwest. Iowa, Indiana, and Illinois all gave good revenue numbers for February Super Bowl betting. Projections and analysts and all the, the eggheads are predicting that March Madness could bring in roughly around $3 billion across the U.S. sports betting market. So that's going to be huge. It's going to be even better that the first round is taking place in Indianapolis. So that's good for Indiana. And then Sweet 16 matchup here in Chicago. So they both have remote registration. They both have online betting. So it's expected to be pretty solid. And everyone knows that those gamblers in the Hawkeye State are hoping for Big Ten champ Iowa to kind of do some damage. So definitely going to be keeping an eye on all three of those states as the tournament progresses.
Pork sandwiches and victory. That's what they want there. And don't forget, I believe the championship game is taking place in New Orleans, one of our national sports tourism Mecca destinations. It's going to be interesting to see how all those touristy dollars and all those local furies. And you got LSU in the tournament.
Yep.
It could be a real interesting time there for the coffers in Louisiana.
It'll be fun. I think with that, like, follow, subscribe. Follow us on Twitter. If you have any questions, hit us up in the comments or anything like that. All right. March Madness, here we come.